I thought, with Sue Bird coming in, at least this is someone that has been positive on Caitlin at times. And I think the issue with Sue Bird, though, is she has her hand kind of in so many things. And between with her podcast, where she tries to advocate for the players, but she's also an owner in the league. And now she's got the Team USA thing, and she's got all these connections and relationships she has to maintain. But at the end of the day, if it comes down to someone that went to UConn and someone that did not go to UConn, the UConn Mafia is going to stick together until proven otherwise.
We haven't even made it to training camp yet. We have not even made it to the December 12th Women's USA Basketball training camp yet, and they are already disrespectful.
Let's keep it real for a second, because this situation is wild. Team USA just pulled off one of the most avoidable disasters in the entire history of women's hoops, and the whole thing is blowing up so fast, it's impossible to look away. Picture this: Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in the sport right now, the one carrying more spotlight than entire franchises, has reportedly drawn a hard line, telling officials she'd walk away if they force her to drop her signature number. Behind closed doors, Sue Bird is scrambling in full panic mode, trying to calm the storm before it turns into something even bigger. But the truth is, this mess might already be past saving. The drama is growing by the hour, and the ripple effect could shift the entire direction of the sport in a way nobody saw coming. And it all started with one issue that never should have turned into a battleground.
Because we ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA. And not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing, because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Now, this article has come out.
Now, here's what people are arguing about online. Would you really walk away from representing your whole country because of a jersey number? Or do you think Caitlin is getting pushed too far here? Fans are split, and everyone is talking about it like it's the biggest crossroads the team has faced in years. From everything leaking out, it sounds like Team USA flat out tried to force Caitlin Clark to give up her iconic number 22, the same number tied to every record-breaking moment she's had since childhood. So let's cut straight through the noise, because this move is honestly one of the biggest fumbles any professional team has made in a long time. They took the player who brought millions of new eyes to women's basketball, the one whose fame makes entire arenas sell out, and told her she couldn't wear the number that fans instantly connect with her name. Then, acting shocked when she pushed back, they acted like they had no idea this would turn into a full-on crisis. Multiple strong reports say that during the December training camp prep, officials told Caitlin she wouldn't be allowed to wear the number she's had since she was just a kid learning the sport. A number fans around the world see as part of her brand, the same way 23 is tied to Michael Jordan. And her response was simple and direct. If she can't wear her number, she's not showing up. Plain and simple. Now Sue Bird, serving as Team USA's managing director, is reportedly stressing hard, trying to figure out how things exploded this fast and how the situation got this out of control.
On it, because Sue Bird was kind of like a new generation type thing. It kind of centralized the process. There was a lot of shady means last year. It was just multiple people involved, everyone throwing up their hands saying it wasn't them. And now with Sue Bird there, you got a square person that's running things. Like on the men's side, you got Grant Hill. Prior to that, you had Jerry Colangelo. And in this situation with Gino Auriemma, Sue Bird, is the UConn Mafia about to try to move Caitlin Clark out the way for Paige Bueckers at the point guard position?
And honestly, Sue Bird has every reason to be stressed, because this isn't some tiny paperwork slip-up or a harmless mix-and-match mistake. This is a full-scale crisis that makes the entire organization look either shockingly unprepared or, even worse, flat-out disrespectful toward one of the biggest stars they've ever had. Neither of those options fits a program that wants to be respected as the top powerhouse in women's basketball across the globe. Here's the part that makes the whole situation feel unreal. Number 22 wasn't claimed by anybody at camp. Not one player had it on their jersey. It was just sitting there, wide open, untouched, practically waiting for Caitlin Clark to grab it the moment she walked in. So think about that for a minute, because it changes everything. They didn't need to negotiate with another player, didn't need to honor a veteran. didn't have any legit reason to block her from wearing the number she has built her entire career around. Instead, they chose, on purpose, to turn this into drama out of nowhere. And that choice makes the whole thing feel intentional instead of accidental. It comes off like a quiet power move meant to remind her she's not the one in control, and that vibe has people heated. Fans are calling it out, the media is calling it out, and the entire public is jumping into the discussion because the energy around this is too big to ignore. And the timing couldn't be worse. This whole mess blew up right before Team USA's major training camp in North Carolina, kicking off on December 12th, an event everybody expected to be hype and full of momentum.
But now, the young white girl comes along, and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark, it's about what she represents. My point is, grow up. Who cares? If you're Magic and Bird, that didn't stop Jordan from coming along and doing what he...
This camp was supposed to spotlight the next wave of stars, including Paige Buchers and Juju Watkins, turning the whole thing into a celebration of the future of American basketball. It was supposed to show the world that the pipeline of talent is stronger than ever, a full showcase of dominance and unity. But now the spotlight is stuck on chaos instead. Instead, because of one baffling decision, the whole camp turned into the backdrop for one of the strangest and most pointless controversies modern sports has seen. And all of it happened because someone in the chain of command decided that Caitlin Clark, the most recognizable player in women's basketball, needed to have her identity stripped for absolutely no real reason. Let me make something crystal clear because this is the heart of everything. Caitlin Clark's number 22 is, without question, the most recognizable number in women's sports right now. There's no debate, no clever counterpoint, nothing to argue about. From new fans who just started watching to lifelong basketball heads who know the game inside out, everybody knows that number is hers. That number represents her deep-range shots that feel like they're launched from another zip code. It represents her insane court vision that makes elite defenders look totally lost on the floor. And it represents that fire she brings, the kind of energy that refuses to back down no matter how tough the moment gets. For millions of people, her number isn't just fabric with digits on it. It's a symbol. It stands for excellence, for everything she's built, and for the global brand she's created with her talent. And yet, Team USA looked at all that history and decided she should wear number 17 instead. Number 17, a number with no meaning to her, no connection to her story, no history attached to anything she's accomplished. The only thing number 17 represents in this whole mess is the fact that it's not 22, and that's the point. This wasn't about a jersey shortage or some odd mix-up. This was about control. This was about sending a quiet message, reminding Caitlin that no matter how famous she gets, the organization still holds the power.
And as far as I was concerned, I was just glad to know eventually I wasn't the only girl playing basketball and balling, and playing at a high level. But it's been a blessing just to watch the women grow and watch the women find their voices, use their platforms, and finally get paid. That's been, if anything, the flowers for me is to see their achievement.
And Caitlin's answer to that message? A strong, direct pushback that made it clear she wasn't about to let anyone erase a piece of her identity without a reason. Then you can make those rules without me. That's the message Caitlin Clark sent, loud and clear. And honestly, the timing makes this whole situation feel even more disrespectful. This isn't happening in some isolated bubble. Everyone remembers how recently she was left off the Olympic roster, and the shock was real. People couldn't believe the biggest name in women's basketball, someone who brings undeniable attention to every game she plays, didn't make the cut. That decision alone had fans questioning whether Team USA's leadership even understood how major this cultural moment is. And now, when you stack that snub next to this forced jersey number issue, it stops looking like random missteps and starts looking like a pattern, a calculated effort to shrink her influence right when her impact is exploding. Fans everywhere are calling out the same thing. First, She gets kept off the Olympic team despite being a global draw, and now she's being told to drop the number tied to her entire identity for no real reason. So of course, people are wondering if Team USA is feeling uneasy about just how big Caitlin Clark has become. She's bigger than the league, bigger than the program, and when an athlete gets that level of influence, big organizations don't always handle the shift smoothly. Sometimes those power dynamics flip fast, and not everyone in leadership knows how to deal with it. Now we've got to talk about Sue Bird's role because she's stuck in an impossible spot. As managing director, she's the one who picked the training camp roster and is supposed to be building the future of the national program. Her job is about strategy, development, and keeping the team dominant on the world stage. But instead of focusing on basketball, she's spending all her energy cleaning up a PR disaster her own organization created. People close to the situation say Sue has been bouncing between frustration and full-on panic as she tries to figure out any path to fix this without making everything spiral even harder. She's trapped right in the center of it, and every move she makes has the potential to set off another wave of backlash. And here's the cold, undeniable truth Team USA is learning in real time. In this standoff, Caitlin Clark is the one holding all the power. Every ounce of it. She doesn't need Team USA to validate her, and she doesn't need a national roster spot to define her legacy. Her impact is already global, and she knows it. She's already built her legacy. And then some. Caitlin Clark shattered records at Iowa that might never be touched again, and she's boosted the WNBA's visibility and TV ratings in a way no one before her has done. She pulled in new sponsors, expanded media attention, and brought women's basketball into everyday conversations across the country. Her influence isn't just big, it's seismic. So you've got to wonder, what does she actually gain by sacrificing her own brand identity just to fit into a program that isn't showing her the respect she's clearly earned? Meanwhile, Team USA is the one with everything to lose. If she walks away, they lose their brightest star, the cultural energy she attracts, the millions of new fans who follow her every move, and the wave of sponsorships and coverage she naturally brings with her. Losing Caitlin wouldn't be a minor setback. It would be a full-on disaster for the program. Sue Bird understands that completely, which is exactly why she's scrambling to keep the situation from blowing up even more. Then the confirmation hit. The official training camp roster went public, and right there next to Caitlin Clark's name was the number 17. Clear as day. That's when everyone realized this wasn't rumor talk or exaggerated speculation. Team USA actually went forward with the forced number change. And the wildest part, when you scan the roster, not one single player is wearing number 22. It's wide open, untouched, and sitting there with no claim on it. They could have handed it to her easily and avoided this entire mess, but instead they picked this battle and created a controversy nobody asked for. Now they're stuck dealing with the fallout of their own decision, and it's only getting louder as the public reacts. But this mess also exposes something deeper, a long-running issue in women's sports that goes way beyond one athlete and one jersey number. For years, WNBA players have spoken up about being undervalued and underappreciated, even while they're the ones pushing the sport forward with real momentum. This situation just puts a spotlight on frustrations that players have been naming for decades, and fans are paying attention now more than ever. So when the most iconic player of her whole generation gets treated like she's disposable or easily swapped out, it hits a nerve. It reinforces the same long-term disrespect female athletes have been fighting for decades, and everyone can feel it. This ties directly into the heated collective bargaining negotiations happening right now, where players are openly talking about a possible league-wide lockout because they're tired of being treated like they should just accept whatever scraps come their way. That's why this jersey number drama cuts so deep for so many people. It's not really about the digits on the back of a jersey. It's about what those digits stand for: respect, recognition, and the basic acknowledgement that Caitlin Clark has earned the right to speak up for herself. When she puts her foot down and says something is non-negotiable, she's not acting out. She's protecting her identity in a system that's tried to limit and control women athletes over and over again. A lot of people respect her for taking that stance because it represents a larger fight happening across the sport. Now, some folks have pointed out that stars like A'ja Wilson and Cameron Brink also rock the number 22 in their careers, and that's true. But historically, this has never caused a huge conflict that required intervention from executives. Players usually talk it out themselves, respectfully, the same way veterans and rising stars have always worked through it. There have been plenty of all-star games where multiple players could have claimed the same number, and guess what? They handled it like adults without USA Basketball stepping in with some heavy-handed decision that nobody asked for. The mature move would have been simple. Let Caitlin and Aja talk it out privately if they were ever even going to be at the same event rocking that number. That's how pros handle things. Instead, USA Basketball jumped in early, created a problem out of thin air, and then enforced a solution that pleased no one and ended up disrespecting their biggest star in the process. The way this whole situation went down shows a huge misunderstanding of Caitlin Clark's value and the serious leverage she holds right now. In today's sports world, organizations get a little too comfortable assuming the power is always in their hands, and they don't always notice when the whole dynamic flips overnight. USA Basketball is acting like they're doing Caitlin some huge favor by naming her to the roster, when the truth is the opposite. They still haven't processed that the balance has shifted completely. At this point in her career, Caitlin showing up is a favor to them, not the other way around. Her presence brings more attention, more hype, and more value than the program is offering her right now. This is a new era, and they're still trying to run things using old playbooks. Sue Bird's panic makes total sense because she's stuck in the middle of this messy situation. It's almost certain she didn't make this decision alone. There were probably other officials involved, maybe old policies about number assignments, maybe outdated ideas about seniority or hierarchy. But as the face of Team USA leadership, she's the one standing in front of the storm. She's now expected to convince Caitlin Clark that the organization respects her deeply while also defending a decision that sends the complete opposite message. That's an impossible task, and everyone watching knows it. And here's the reality, plain and simple. Caitlin Clark has zero reason to bend on this. Not now, not with everything she's built, and not with how much power she holds in the sport today. Not a single reason exists for her to compromise. Not one! Caitlin Clark has already proven everything she needed to prove on the court, and she's done it with style and dominance. She has nothing to gain by staying in a program that's treating her like she's optional instead of essential. If USA Basketball wants her back, they're the ones who need to step forward and fix what they broke. And fixing it means way more than quietly swapping a number on a roster behind the scenes. It means letting her wear her number in the open, admitting that forcing the change was a major mistake, and showing through real actions, not speeches, that they truly understand and appreciate what she brings to the team and to the entire sport. This whole situation has sparked louder conversations about athlete empowerment and how the world of pro sports is shifting fast. Today's athletes, especially the ones with global brands and huge followings, have more leverage than ever before. They don't have to accept treatment that feels disrespectful just because an organization used to hold all the cards. If Caitlin walked away from Team USA, it would send a powerful message across every sport. It would show players everywhere that they don't have to tolerate being undervalued, even when the disrespect comes from massive institutions that think they're untouchable. What happens next is truly up in the air, and the stakes are huge. Sue Bird might pull off a recovery by reversing the number decision immediately and giving Caitlin solid, real assurance that this kind of disrespect won't happen again. Or Caitlin could stay firm, skip training camp altogether, and shake the entire basketball world, forcing USA Basketball to accept the truth. They need her way more than she needs them. Either way, the reputation hit has already landed. USA Basketball now looks confused at best and disrespectful at worst, and either option raises real questions about their decision-making. The comparisons to other legends and their iconic numbers make the whole thing even clearer. Nobody would have asked Wayne Gretzky to drop 99. That number is part of his legacy. Nobody would have dared tell Michael Jordan to give up 23. That number became bigger than the jersey itself. Those numbers were tied to everything those athletes accomplished, and they became part of sports history. Caitlin Clark has already hit that level of number recognition in women's basketball. The number 22 is her brand, her identity, and a symbol of every record she's broken. Asking her to switch it is basically asking her to step away from her own story, and she's made it clear she's not doing that. Team USA created a disaster they could have avoided with one simple decision, and now Sue Bird is stuck trying to patch things up before it turns into something even bigger. Caitlin holds all the leverage in this battle, and she absolutely knows it. This situation is nowhere near finished, and the pressure on USA basketball isn't going away anytime soon. This story isn't slowing down. It's getting louder by the day, and the pressure sitting on USA basketball right now is unreal. Caitlin Clark isn't backing down, the fans aren't quieting down, and the entire sports world is watching to see who moves next. Every decision from here on out could flip the whole situation again, and one wrong step might ignite a storm they can't control. If USA basketball wants to keep their future bright, they're going to have to face the reality that the game has changed, and the players who built this new era aren't accepting old-school treatment anymore. Caitlin knows her worth, she knows her influence, and she knows exactly how much this moment means, not just for her, but for every athlete watching. And trust, the next chapter of this drama is coming fast. If you want the real updates, the leaks, the behind-the-scenes moves, the unexpected twists, you already know where to watch the story unfold. Courtside Leaks is tracking every shift, every call, every move in this saga with zero sugarcoating. Stick close, because the next headline in this story could drop any minute, and you don't want to miss what comes next. We've got every angle covered, every leak, every backstage twist, every moment they won't show you. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. Stay locked in with Courtside Leaks, your home for the truth behind the WNBA headlines.